What's up, everyone? So I wanted to go over something before we get the stream started today, because I've seen a lot of people that are struggling lately on going from World Tier 2 to 3 or from World Tier 3 to 4. And I think a lot of that has to do with gear and itemization, more so than your build. Your build does make a huge difference in that, but a lot of people are following even meta builds and saying that they're struggling going from one World Tier to the next. So I'm going to go over kind of how the breakdown of itemization works in Diablo. This is going to be a quick overview. It's not going to go into a lot of detail, and these are going to be kind of rough numbers. Well, some of them are going to be rough numbers, and some of them will be actual set in the game. So the first thing we're going to look at is the item power level breakpoints. And these breakpoints are right here. So from 1 to 149 is the first item power breakpoint, right? So everything within that has a set value that it can be. So if you look at an item here, let's just say we look at this one right here, and let's say this was an item power of 1 to 149, and then you look underneath it and you'll see the bonus stats down here. We have intelligence, we have movement speed for 4 seconds after killing an elite, and we have 11% fortify, and then next to that, each of those you can see a range of numbers. That range of numbers is what is directly related to this here, these power breakpoints. So as you go up in a power breakpoint, that range of numbers goes higher each time. So that's basically what that means. Now for your armor, your armor value is always going to go up with a higher item power, and your weapon damage values are always going to go up with a higher item power. Doesn't matter if it's within those breakpoints or not. So one item power higher, your weapon will be higher damage, and one item power higher, your armor will be greater, the actual armor value of the armor. So just so you have that in mind there. On jewelry slots, you're only going to see a difference at those breakpoints. So at the breakpoints noted here is the only time you're going to see any difference in any of your jewelry slots. So where can you get these different items? Well, you can get all the way up to 624 to drop in World Tier 1 or World Tier 2. That's going to be roughly based on your level when you obtain the item. So at level 1, you're going to be able to obtain items around this level. They're actually going to start out at normal quality. You're not going to get many at higher quality. So basically what I'm showing here is your normal quality is going to be your current level plus approximately 10 or times approximately 10 to get to your base, right? So it's going to be at level 1, you're going to have power of 10 to 20-ish items. And then once you get to level 2, you're going to be 20 to 30-ish items, and so on. Now, if a magic item drops, those are the blue ones, they get roughly 10 to 20 extra power levels when they drop. Rares get an extra 20 to 30 roughly, and then legendaries get 30 or more roughly. Okay, these are absolutely rough numbers, just to kind of explain how items work in the game. So you're going to get a little bit of a bonus to your power levels when you get those different things. Now you may get a legendary at the same level and a rare. So a rare and a legendary may drop at the same level, but your rare may be higher level because there's some RNG in there that it does range. You know, there is a range, and your range on the legendary could have just rolled lower, and then it got the plus bonus, you know, to it, so it still rolled lower ultimately. But these are just kind of some simple overviews. So as you level up, you will start gaining power level in your items. So level 1, you're going to start only seeing things around level item power 10 to 20 or so. As you get up to about level 15, you're going to start seeing things in this range. These are all rough as well, so don't assume that, hey, I'm level 15, I should be seeing 330 plus, item levels. You might not. It's going to be a range. But around level 15, you're going to be in this area. Around level 30 plus, you're going to be in this area, and around level 40 plus, you're going to be in this area. Now, what these two are set items. So These are specific level requirements. If you get an item within this range right here of 625 to 724, it will be a sacred item. You can only get those in World Tier 3 or 4. And if you get them, they will be your level or 45 at the minimum. So let's say you go to World Tier 3 at level 30. You will be able to see sacred items drop that are in this range. However, they will be a minimum level of 45, so you will not be able to equip them. All of these here, from this point down, are going to be the level of the item. The item level is going to be the level requirement for it is going to be whatever level it was when you obtained the item. Same thing will happen here when you get into World Tier 3 or 4 and you're getting sacred items. If you're level 47, the item will be level 47. That'll continue to scale up to level 60, and it'll stop at level 60. You'll never see a sacred item at this point over level 60. And then for World Tier 4 items, these are ancestral. They will be a minimum level of 60, and they will go up to 80, and they'll never go over 80. So as long as your character is under that level, they will drop at these minimum points here. Hopefully that makes sense. So now that we know that, the only other thing that is different from that, you can get items from 820 to 850 power from the rare elites, and the only places you can find those, there's like 30 of them or something scattered throughout the map. Those are like the little star, little shape on your map. So if you go to your map and you're running around, you'll see like a little star, and it'll be like, hey, there's a boss over here or whatever. Go and kill that boss. They can drop items up to 850 power, but they can also drop items all the way down to whatever level you are when you defeat them. Most of those monsters are level 25 or higher. I don't know of any that are lower than level 25, so you're going to be somewhere in this range if they drop the first time, but they could possibly drop up here as well. And they don't guarantee drop anymore. They used to drop guaranteed. They no longer do. So that goes over the itemization breakpoints. Now, how do those breakpoints work? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at one of my items here, and this is a 608 power item power, right? So 608 falls right here in this range. So we can see here that it goes from 624 to 625 is going to be that breakpoint. So if we have 608 here and we upgrade that, will it become a sacred item? Well, no, but it will change the stats on it. So these aren't the greatest stats for this class, but we're just going to use this as an example. So you can see we have 8.5% shock damage, and that can roll anywhere from a 6.5 to a 10. We're just going to use that as the example. So 608 power, we're going to go here to the blacksmith. We're going to go to upgrade, and this is how we can find out how many times we can upgrade it. Some items can only be upgraded 2 or 3 times. So like if it's a rare item, this one can only be upgraded 3 times. So that means it can only get +3. This is a legendary item. That means it can be upgraded +4 times. So that would be 20 item levels higher. And then as you get higher level, you actually be able to upgrade some items up to 5 times, which is 25 levels higher. And that's going to be based on the level of the item. As you're going up, you really don't want to upgrade too many things. However, when you're going from World Tier 2 to 3, let's say you completed your capstone dungeon, it was a little bit of a struggle, but then you're going into World Tier 3, now you're really struggling. Double check to make sure that you have upgraded your items and see if there's any that you can upgrade to those breakpoints. So for this item right here, each upgrade is going to add 5 power levels. So you'll see here, this is the base item. When I upgrade it, it's going to go here to 608 plus 5 item power, and it says upgrades 1 of 4. You also notice upgrades 1 of 4 because of these little diamonds down here. So when I do that, it's going to give me these different values. And if you look, you can see the range of those values going up. So we're going to then add that. Now this is going to go from 8.5% on my shock, right? With a maximum of 10. This is going to go up by 0.9 with now a maximum of 11. So you can see how that continues to go up. So the 7.1 goes, or the 6.5 goes up to 7.1, and then the 10 goes up to an 11. So you can see how they continue to go up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that's going to give us that item at that power level. It tells you exactly what it becomes. So we're going to continue to do that. Next is going to go up by a little bit more. So it's going to increase again by 0.7 to 1.0. We're going to do that again. And then now it's going to go from, it's going to go up by 0.6 to another 1.0 to get to the third tier. And then now we're going to the final tier, and you can see how it continues to go up. But now you see that's a big jump, right? So we went from going up by 0.6, 0.7 to 1.0. Now we're jumping all the way up, and we're going to be gaining 5% from the previous. Whereas before we were getting like 0.9% more, 0.8% more. Now we're getting a 5%. And the reason for that is because the item power is now going to jump up over that 725. So right now, if you were to add up those two numbers together, you have 625. So you have 622 currently, but when we level it up again, it's going to go up to 627 item power. So we're going to do, 628 item power. I can't add. So that's going to make it jump to a sacred tier, which is going to increase all of those stats substantially. So you want to double check and see if you do that. So now we're going to roll it, and boom, that's what we got. So it does tell you exactly what it does. It doesn't, some will say that it re-rolls. As far as I can tell, it doesn't re-roll. It just adds a substantial boost to it. Because you saw all the numbers were going up because they were all green, so they just jumped up quite a bit because there's a whole new range that it can be in. So I guess in a sense it does re-roll, but I feel like what it does is it just says, okay, we're going up this amount, so we're just going to lift everything up this amount, is how I see it. So that is a way that you can upgrade your gear. Make sure that you try before you go into World Tier 3 to try to have all of your gear be 625 item power or higher. You're not going to have a lot of it, but as long as you get an item around the 600 range, 605 or higher range, you'll be able to upgrade it to 625, which will then substantially increase your survivability and your damage output and everything. If you do that across the entire board and all of your items, it will make a big difference and help you out. You can then do that again from going to World Tier 3 to 4. So in World Tier 3, you're going to be getting sacred items that will be dropping up to 724 item power. Do that again. If it's 700 or higher, you'll be able to upgrade that to 725. That is especially useful on jewelry slots because you're going to be looking at your jewelry slots. You might find a rare item that is really good, has a perfect stats on it, but it's just a low level item. And then you might find something else that doesn't have the perfect stats, but it has much higher rolls of those couple of stats that you want. So if you can upgrade your item to that next tier, the one that's lower and it's not sacred, then that might actually end up being a better item for you. But if you look here, you can still see that this says it's a legendary chess piece. It does not say it's a sacred legendary chess piece. So it doesn't claim that it's a sacred tier quality, but it actually has the same bonus stats as a sacred item. Anyway, hopefully that helps. If it does, please like, subscribe, follow, all that kind of stuff, and check me out on Twitch if you have any questions. Thanks so much. Bye.